And welcome back and good morning. 10:55 a.m. tap off here, Bankstown versus Penrith, and a massive game here for Bankstown here. And Penrith, they'll be ruining missed opportunity against Newcastle last night. The Knights were outstanding last night, and I'm joined here again in commentary with Jason Stanton. Jason, this should be an interesting one. Bankstown with a lot to play for.
Yeah, Bankstown in a similar position to what we saw West last game, where this is pretty much their weekend if they don't get a win. And we just saw a big upset. So do we have another big upset here with Bankstown? Knocking off the very fancied and the Vorden Cup champions, Penrith.
And they'll go early and they'll push up off the line, and there's to Penny Rawetti getting off the line, and they're going to go for Wetherill here. Ashby makes a feather touch. Wetherill picks it up. He goes to Gray, looks to step back, and missed opportunity there for Bankstown to start. It's always nice to start with a win.
Yes.
And Penrith will go to the box and look to transition on.
Yeah, strong driving there from the Panthers. Looks like they're really up for this one, Nathan.
Maya Soteropoulos there goes, and there's Robinson picking the ball up, and he looks to go and touched by Gray and referee Sanderson.
Yeah, good outcome there for Robinson. I think it was last touch coming, and he had the number, and he just was patient and got a really good result here for Penrith. Let's see what they can produce here. Bankstown been tested early.
And they pop it out, and they've got the overlap, and they go along, and there's Peacock. And they'll open the scoring, Penrith.
Yeah, you don't often see a lot of that. There's sort of less of that. It's sort of coming back into the game now where, normally you'd see a dump or a touch leading into the play. And in that case, it was almost like a fake or a pretend dump and then a little pass off the hip. So almost like a try without a touch, which we don't see a lot of. So really well executed there by Penrith. Good start to the game.
Just good direct running there, and they'll pick the ball up, and there's Azzy. Give it to Backos and gives it back to Russell, and they've got feet in the ruck there. That'll be a penalty.
Yeah, nice second phase play there by Bankstown, and if they can do a bit of that, they might be able to trouble Penrith this morning.
Spoken about sin bins and the like, and what's our thoughts on that? There was feet in the ruck. Do we think there was any deliberacy in that? And they don't want to waste an opportunity here, Bankstown. You've got Stone on the field, and spoken about his attacking prowess, and they go the link quickie. Backos there gets on Robinson. He goes and dives at line. He was offside, I think. Sanderson's pointing. We're going to have a quick discussion, and I'll give the penalty here for offside.
Don't quite understand that. It was offside to try, or maybe the winger made the touch out there, Nathan.
Yeah, potentially. We're a long way away from here. It's Amanda Sheikey, the referee on that far side. Brendan Sanderson is on the field at the moment, the main ref, and they give the ball out to Stone, and Stone goes to... He's lost that. A little bit physical in the contest there, and Stone couldn't hold on to it and drops his lollies and go forward. And there's Azzy trying to compete and sing on that far side, getting off the line. There's Azzy will meet Robinson, and that's not bad defence here, but they're rolling Penrith. This will be the last, and they'll look for the strike dump with Angles Cork. Ashby's fallen over, and they'll stand him up. Inside pass, and this is sharp. The bat on, and Peacock couldn't get there, but that was the recovery in the dump there. I think if Ashby didn't lose his feet, the attack there was very potent.
Yeah, Penrith looking very dangerous in there. Ben Moreland, really good speed there on the scoop and pass. Very crisp there from the Panthers.
Now, this is interesting there that they were held up in the play of the ball, and Penrith was shot off the line, and the referees have allowed play to continue with Penrith being what I would probably call offside. So that was an interesting aspect of the play there. As he picks the ball up, they've got the overlap here. Backos, who's got some hamstring injuries.
Yeah, not a bad set there from Bankstown. It's interesting to circle back to one of the points you mentioned earlier with the feet in the ruck. So something to, I guess, have a bit of a ponder at if you're watching at home. Feet in the ruck in the first minute is a penalty. An incident in the last minute of the last game's a sin bin. So that's just something interesting. What would you like to see there? An automatic bin or a automatic warning? What should we have?
Good defence there by Singh on that long ball, and Peacock passed it inside to Gretsch. But as you mentioned, my two bobs worth on that is, I think the deliberacy of the act is what matters. I think if there's a potential try scoring opportunity as such, which is what, Bankstown had the phase there. They're probably a little bit close to the line, was probably the only negative for that. So, someone's feet is probably a little bit harsh when you look at it. Obviously, we're a long way away from here. But, as you mentioned, that go-to there, and Stone picks it up, and he pumps the long ball to Wagstaff, and he dives.
I think it was
stretch.
Down. It was a great work by the winger, but I think it might have been down. It was outstanding defence by the winger.
And yes, Amanda Sheikey and Kim Skelly confirm the try. Wagstaff, he's played limited minutes this weekend with a couple of niggling injuries, and like a couple of the boys from Bankstown, but there he was, the big swan dive at the end, and they level it up here at one apiece.
Yeah, Matty Wags there, very strong. Just some of the ability of the wingers, Nathan, that we've been seeing throughout the tournament, these finishes. There's just so much skill, so much athleticism. Great to see.
And Flynn Engels' cork goes over the top and dishes back. Peacock to Ashby, and they're going to go to the sweet play again, and there's Engels' cork, and he goes through, and Good picks the ball up. He's dangerous. Engels' cork, and he ducks the head in there. Touch, and we've got a special guest here today, and joined by one of the number one referees in the state, Dave Badger. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks, Nathan. Thanks for the invite.
I know you still the heart rate's still going after that last game. It was a end-to-end game, and
yeah, a little fast. Yeah, it was most definitely. Yeah, a bit quick, but still a good hard game.
So Jason's been out of the game for 100 years, and he's come back this year, and he played the Men's Premier League for the Vorden Cup. And you know, how much has it increased in the last couple of years, the speed of the game?
Oh, heaps, massive. Like just the changeover now is 10 times faster than what it was like 2-3 years ago. So yeah, they just jump on that ball now and then motor. So
Weatherall's got to go, mate. Soropoulos, and what a finish! It's a good touch by Weatherall. And JC, there you go. You'll be backed it up by Dave. He's supported your theory on the speed. It's not just you getting old, mate.
I know. I thought it was just me, but just to give us a bit of an insight, Dave, that last game when it was so quick that way, like that, does it put a bit of pressure on the referees, like as in more comms, or how do you handle the speed in the modern game? Yeah,
there is a little bit of pressure. Just though with the comms though, like off-field plays a big part in our outcomes on the field. Obviously, because we've only got one set of eyes out in the field, it helps all that communication to get the right result, basically. And that's our main goal, is trying to get that result correct.
It was really entertaining, so good job that last game. Both teams were really up for it. We saw a bit of an upset, and this game started off in the same vein, I think, with two teams quite desperate, and the referees keeping them nice and open for us.
Yeah, we're working really hard to get that 7 metres and open up the game so the teams can actually play. That's one of the biggest things we want to try and achieve, is let the teams run like they're doing now.
The ball over the top, and Bakos is not there, and that's Gretsch, and I think he's done a little bit of an injury there, Jake Gretsch, but he gets the try, so at least there's a little bit of something for him, and Penrith hit the lead with 2-1, and you speak about opening up the 7, Dave, and it's been a couple of years, obviously, but how's the difference been since, obviously, I think 2 or 3 years ago we moved to the 7 metres? How have you found that transition over a couple of years?
Yeah, Nathan, we really haven't changed it too much, because before that we were kind of doing that anyway. It's cleaned up down on the line, it has, like that, having that 7 metre line there and it being just so distinct now. So obviously if they played on the line, the teams have to make the try line. Yeah, so it's nice and simple like that there. That was played on the line, on the 7 metres, and they had to make that line, and they were short there.
And Mitch Gray, he collects it. Ethan Klein couldn't make it, and Mitch Gray sneaks over. And you know, what a great segue, Dave, into that. You make the call, and then it's funny enough, we're talking about the 6 to go rule and down on the line, which I was having a chat with Kim about this morning, where body position and where it hits you and things like that, and the different things that come into it. And then it's amazing, we saw it in the last game about 4 or 5 times when we were talking about it, and then amazingly you bring it up. So is there anything else you want to bring up that we might see you in the next couple of minutes?
Dave, can you help us out? He's been talking about the 6 again for 2 days. He's giving me a headache. Can you talk us through how it works, mate?
It's pretty clear cut, actually. It's if they play at the ball, and playing at the ball is even coming in to shut down into that lane to try and prevent a pass. For us, that's 6 again, any day of the week.
And Penrith, Horatio Edwards just gets that back, and the defence there from Azzy and Singh, a little bit of miscommunication. Azzy over chasing here on the inside, and
Penrith have got another gear, haven't they?
they've just lifted slightly the intensity. I think we've spoken previously about going, a bit of a triathlon and then everyone settling into their work, and I think they're starting now, Penrith, to really hit their straps. And Bankstown with only 13 players and a couple of niggling injuries, I think that's going to be the part. They go to link Quickie here, and he's offside. Robinson, he's got there.
Down.
Mitch Gray's got a double. The sneaky step and slide under, and Mitch Gray levels us back up at 3-3. But Penrith go up another gear, but Bankstown, they're keeping on at the moment, Jace.
Yeah, but that was almost against the run of play, that one. I felt like Penrith really went an extra gear there and thought they were, potentially going to blow Bankstown off the park, but Bankstown were able to steady a bit and get one back. And it'll be interesting to see. Probably the next tries, I know it's early in the game, but probably the next try could set the tone, because Bankstown are going to have to stick with Penrith here.
Weddy and Gretsch. And Gretsch is on one leg there, and Moylan, you'll see him there. He's got a bit of a hobble with the jersey 16 here. He's about to go to half. He's going to go to the Rooster play, and Ashby there holds off, and good stall by Weather. He's chasing out, and referee Skelly coming back for a penalty, and Weddy couldn't hold on to that one, but I thought that was good scrambling defence there by Bankstown, and probably a little bit unlucky to be penalised, Jason.
Yeah, they sort of... Bankstown, when they're talking and getting up like they are now, that's when they look their strongest. When they get a bit passive, they hold the line a bit. They get penalised for not moving forward, or they get a bit reactive. They don't look as strong.
And no touches the call, and Skelly was all over that one. He's in really good position. You'll see the argument here between Moylan and Weatherall happening is Weatherall saying he pulled out of that touch prior to Moylan putting the ball down, and referee Skelly goes in favour of Bankstown this time. I'm sure we'll see that battle of Weatherall and Moylan at some stage. They'll come together as they head to the box, and there's Weatherall with the ball. He gets up near halfway, and here they come. Backos with he's on one leg. We saw that yesterday afternoon, and Stone will go forward for Azzy. Azzy picks the ball up. He looks to take Ashby on, and he stops and stares, and he earns the penalty. It's a good driving set, and Backos, you'll see him hop to the box. But Dave, how important is that transition there? Obviously, that's, we saw in the last game, I think, when West went nice and direct, they put the pressure on, and they just forced that penalty to be given, don't they? Yeah,
it's really hard to... so the referee's running backwards, and it's really hard to get that change of pace. They've got to anticipate that change of pace, and get your comms out nice and early. So you actually try and prevent that penalty, but her hands were tied then pretty much. That was just unfortunate.
Is that Amanda Sheikey? Is it?
Yeah, one of the leading female referees in the country at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely superb referee, and I'm trying to work out how she could keep up with him. I can't.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
She held on. She held the line the whole defensive drive, and was able to pick up the penalty as well. Great refereeing, Amanda.
Yeah, really fast, really good. Good decision.
There's Wagstaff making the touch on Maya Soteropoulos. Goods on the field, and they're going to send the sweeper with Edwards, and they'll give it back to Engels Cork, and they've got numbers there, and he goes out and sings out and makes the touch, and
I think the scoreboard's just got updated 3-3. I was trying to work out what was going on. Sorry.
And we got a late pass, and Dave, State Cup, is it? I'm assuming for you it's one of the most enjoyable events outside of being a bit of hard work with the amount of games you do, but it must be enjoyable. The refs tent, we get about 300 referees in there, and the camaraderie, and the events that happen, out for dinner and stuff like that. The camaraderie must be great at the State Cup.
Yeah, definitely. It was great. Yesterday, seeing all the referees in the tent. It's been a while that we've had that opportunity. But even catching up with people you don't normally get to catch up with. It's great seeing all the new faces as well.
Yeah, plenty of new faces at this tournament, and how important is it for clubs to continue to develop? I know Wagga Wagga, they only sent a couple of teams this year, but they've got a big contingent of referees, and there's also people like West, with Victor and stuff like that. They get the big groups of referees. How important is that culture within clubs to, they're basically an extra team within your club, aren't they?
It is, and we actually get treated like that back at home. We brought 8 referees. We've brought basically half a playing team of referees, you could say. So, yeah, we are that. Well, Wagga's unfortunately sent 2 this time. So we've basically really sent 3 teams. So one being the referees, of course.
And they've called ball down. Looks like they were asking.
Gee, that was a good call, because I think it's hard there. The Penrith plays were claiming for 6 again, but there wasn't a touch.
Yeah.
And, I know when I played, it's a bit of a bugbear for me sometimes with those little like those really difficult calls. And Amanda again's got that right.
It's interesting that they went and asked the
but ask the right question though. So ask the right question to get the outcome she needed.
Yeah, very good.
So there, and Bankstown now with an opportunity to hit back. It's about halfway through this fixture and 3-3, and
just hanging in there, aren't they, Nathan?
Yeah,
Bankstown's just hanging in there, and Penrith are going to have to go another gear, or Bankstown could
Stone
steal
will
it
go
off
long over the top and Sing. Oh, he lets it sing. Stone. Oh, don't know about.
I think it was
that
forward,
one.
Nathan. Yeah.
He dug into the line. I think the momentum of the pass, and
It was
I'd
a
love
close.
to have a look at that again.
It was a close one. It's good to see Bankstown asking the question.
And that's Stone just probably trying to get one back after being called forward. He just danced straight through the ruck and thought he'd take that on, and they get the penalty in the end. At the referee Sanderson,
Players getting a bit unsettled now because the game's on the balance. It's on edge now, Nathan. 3-3.
14 minutes to go, just over 14, and Penrith here with Robinson, Moylan and Leaney on the field, and they go wide, and there's Ethan Klein, and he'll do a bit of a dance. I'll give it back to Leaney, and there's Robinson with the ball, and he's a youngster that's really developing into a great player. And they go to pop play, and he holds onto it, and a little bit high risk, I feel, for this type of, this end of the game. And Leaney will go the quickie, and that looked forward. He was in front, and referee Skelly.
Strong defence there, George Azzi and Backos. And he's George Azzi.
Here we go. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Did see him in drive-through last night. George Azzi coming through the KFC behind me, so no doubt refueling. Obviously, I'm on the health kick.
Oh, you didn't see me, mate. I'm on the protein bars. I wasn't there. Look at this Mitch Gray. Penrith rolling out of that. Now the referee's going to get him coming forward. Let's see what Bankstown can produce here.
Oh, Klein's offside. Intercept. Klein was offside there. He stepped back, and they've called 6 more. So on the topic of food, Dave, so you do, 4, I think you did 5 games yesterday, and you got 4 today?
Yes.
4 today. So how important is it, working into that? Obviously, you do a bit of training, plus you obviously local competition refereeing in the lead up for a state cup. How important is the nutrition and the food during the tournament, also obviously post at nights? Yeah,
it is. It's very important, like knowing when to eat, and obviously 4 games a day, and then spacing that out during the day on when to eat, but what to eat is most important too, and when to drink and what to drink during the day is very important. And most of those referees out there are switched on.
Oh, that was a little bit too easy. Ashby picked it up, and Gretsch just strolls on through. And, Mitch Gray sort of gave up on the play. They looked for the little boy play there. Jason, the boy play, you want to explain that one to the viewers at home?
Yeah, it's almost like a trail where the player that dumps the ball almost like fakes like they're going to go wide and then follows the dummy half that scoops. It's quite a difficult one to defend because the outside players can't help. The link and wingers can't help the middle, so you're pretty much isolating the defender, and Penrith executed that really well. And it's 4-3 now. Let's see whether Bankstown can hit back.
I'll go for Stone here for the 32 or 43 platform. They pick it up, and not square. Kim Skelly's definitely got one of those in him. They're not square.
Dave, just to give a bit of an insight for those watching at home, you mentioned that a lot of games for the referees. I think it was 4 or 5 a day. Would that be if I'm like a junior ref starting off, like a level 1, level 2, or like a L6 sort of running all these big games? How many games would we referee the different levels? Yeah,
you're probably looking at your 2s and 3s. 2s and 3s are probably doing about 2 to 3 games a day. Your 4s and 5s are doing about that 3 to 4, and then you got your 5s and 6s are probably doing that.
That's good, mate. We don't want to scare off any of the young referees coming through thinking they're going to do 48 games on the weekend like you do,
That's
Dave.
Right. Well, like for instance, yesterday, I did 22 Ks yesterday, so...
Well, that's a penalty. Got to be. Shoved Gray over, and Cheeky didn't want to bar it, and Gray, he almost got pushed into the bowling club there. That's probably on momentum, although that's one, Jason, it's probably a little bit of a 50-50 in that where he's got the momentum, running, so obviously it's easier to fall over.
Yeah, it looks a bit, sometimes it's a bit deceptive, those sorts of calls. But The other thing, Dave, just to circle back quickly with the 22Ks, it isn't just the distance. It's a fast game now. It's intense.
Yeah, that's right. We're probably averaging like 3.2 a game. I think I did 3.
As they go through again, and it's a carbon copy of what we saw a couple of minutes ago, and that's that boy play again, Jace.
Yeah, sorry, Dave, cut you off there.
No, you're right.
Great try
Great
try by Penrith, and shout out to the coach in there, like Scott Buckley and also Nick Good. Very, very clever. They really got a great understanding of the game, and isn't it good to see the boy play that Nathan just we just spoke about there, and then Penrith have said, well, they didn't defend it well in the first time. Let's try it again, and from 3-3 we've gone to 5-3 off the back of the same play. So very clever football from Penrith. This is Ben Moylan.
Stone gives it away, and referees. I think Brandon on that one, just he was happy to stick below the 3K. He didn't really want to chase that. I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. No, but that's a fair penalty. You could see the player being short. It's very smart refereeing too. So.
I'm waiting for that in my next game. The referee will say, I'm giving a penalty because I'm at 2.9 Ks, Chase, and I don't want to run anymore. I wonder whether I'll respond to that or whether I'll just say, no worries, I understand now.
Stone, he's got the option, Stone and Moylan. Moylan's all over him at the moment. And Dave, so back to the food and nutrition. It was a bit of a loaded question before to go in. What's your favourite meal, either or at the end of the day? Going back to the hotel or to the local establishment? What's your? Yeah,
last night it was great actually. We had some pizza and pasta, so more pasta than pizza, I guess. But yeah, just trying to refuel.
Oh, they've done it back to him. Anything you can do, we can do better. Bankstown, Mitch Gray and George Azzi there. On the same play, Jace. We're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, can I be a bit of a geek and unpack that a bit? So Bankstown run the boy a little bit different. If you can watch that, or you can rewind, whatever it's called. So Bankstown actually, the player dumping the ball gets it from the ground, which makes them think they're doing a dive over play or a long ball. Then he takes off towards the shorter side of the field and returns it on a trail. So that's almost like a quick release into a trail, which was a little bit different. We saw Penrith doing the scoop into the trail. So. Sorry, getting a little bit techie, but just okay. Explain there's different ways to run it, especially as kids watching back at home. You can run these sorts of trail plays lots of different ways.
What's the beauty of the live stream, isn't it? No doubt there's, they talk about, and for years there's been the conversation about the country, it's always, I think, 2 years behind, and the way the city clubs are sort of coached and stuff like that, but that gap's definitely closing, and I think the ability to live stream games and things like that obviously open that up, Jace. There'll be some teenagers in the backyard. There'll also be some men's Opens Bs players that are trying to get forward that'll, rewatch that, and they're trying to run those plays. Definitely at local comp this week, you'll see, a few players are good, like double pump, and the winger, Maya Soteropoulos dives, and I think he's in a bit of trouble.
He scored, but I think he's injured himself. I hope he's okay. He has scored though.
Yeah, it was a little bit innocuous. The dive for the line, and that play I think was the Hornsby and West. I think used to run that. Maybe Parramatta as well. The winger chopping the link hole.
Yeah, that's in response to you would have seen a lot of those long balls where all of the defence comes in to help, and then we throw that long ball to the winger, and this is a bit of a trick play or a variation on that, where you make the defensive winger think you're going to throw long, but then you actually come in shorter, and again that's quite challenging for the winger to defend. But really well executed there by the Panthers, and that puts him out by 2 and almost makes this a must-score set for Bankstown.
Stone, smart play, coaching staff of Gretsch and Rashik Prasad. Yelling instruction, you could see Daniel put his hand up, and he says maybe he was waving to Rach and Isaac at home. Jason, maybe that's what that was. He might not have been acknowledging the coaches. He was just giving a wave to the family back home. And
yeah, we like that. We need to encourage more of that. We've got to get the family involved, mate. He's great, as he.
Rooster play, and they're going to go for Stone the drop, and Stone will look to pump long. He fires it out of a cannon. Wagstaff, and they've called this one forward as well. And that's two that have been called forward, and obviously some of your colleagues here, Dave, so I'll leave you out of that one. Jace, what are your thoughts on that? I think the momentum of play, it's going to go forward.
50-50s, yeah, they're close. It's hard for us to see from our angle. They are close. The referee's in good position, but they are close, those ones. So Bankstown may be a bit unlucky on that one. And
that pass there was straight out of the hands forward. You would have seen that on your screen. It's probably one of the frustrations of it is that, there's been 2 tries disallowed. I think the first one was marginally forward from Daniel. The second one from up here, it looked okay. And then we're running down the play, and the camera would have been in great position there. Bar TV guys doing a great job for us today and yesterday. They're long days, and the boys are helping us out with some great footage, and you would have had a great view of that forward pass. But
Dave's going to retire. He didn't have all this footage when he was a younger referee. Now every time you make a call, David, we replay it 48 times. Then we get the ruler out and we say, you know what? I think that was passed backwards and floated forward, Dave. That's how we do it now, mate.
Yeah, I totally get that. But the referees were confident down both those times down the line.
Just drop that, Robinson. Yeah.
Extra scrutiny now.
You've got to sell. Sell it.
They were confident with their decisions, so and they're consistent. So they're consistent with both teams, and that's most important too.
So for those just watching there, that no touch, Dave. Sorry to keep putting you on the spot. Can you help us out with that? So when a defender's saying that they didn't touch the player and the players dumped the ball anyway. What's the decision-making process for those sort of maybe learning the game or trying to understand what happened there?
Yeah, so what the referee's looking at there is a touch actually made? And 2, where is the ball in relation to that? And have they placed the ball on the ground and released the ball before the touch has actually been made as well? To then base their decision on that, Jason. So there's a number of things they're looking at there.
And it's just the referee in that situation, it's just up to them on their end. They can't really get any help from the sideline in that scenario, can they?
No, because bodies are so close together, they should be in a position to actually make a decision on that. And if they don't see that, then basic play on. They can't call things unless they see things. We all know that.
We did see that in the last game. I think Heckendorf, Luke was on the field when it happened. And, most of the time I think defenders anyway, I think they turn around and plead. But like you said, it's that tight. It's a big thing. It's probably, percentage call would be just to leave it alone, I think, with the way it is. And he's created space. They go over the top, and Bankstown, he lost his footing there, and time running out, the clock's against him.
Yeah, Nick ought to look to control the set here, but hopefully you're enjoying these insights from Dave Badger as much as I am. I wish I'd known him a bit earlier. I might have been a better player. But anyway.
Your career's over, mate. Trying to stack up to him now is not going to help anyone, that's for sure. He won't be featuring in the men's 40s later on this afternoon.
Well, I've been waiting to talk to Dave Badger about the 2006 NTL versus Sharks, but we'll chat about it later over a beer, I think. Most people watching going, we weren't born then. Take it easy, Steno.
And as he's hitting in the channel there, the attempt to intercept, and it's a bit of a Hail Mary all or nothing play from Azzy. I think the clock's against them now, and you can see they're Penrith absolutely in no hurry here. An important win here for Penrith, and might be going a little bit early, but here they are leaning on the inside play, and Backos, good touch, diving touch from Josh Backos. And I was talking to Josh's dad last night, the Port City Bowling Club over a Diet Coke, and he was saying he reckons Josh is the most called, how should I word it, and he's touched there. He's the player that's been called offside the most the whole weekend. So
it was an easy fix to that.
So obviously,
get onside.
Obviously, Josh, he's a little bit vertically challenged with the height in his little legs, but they move quickly, and here he is again. They fire out the pass, and there's a blatant non-attempt of catch.
Backos does a lot of the work too, Nathan. Backos is an outstanding defender, and he does a lot of the hard work, the grinding work. So you always seen him in the mix of it again there, right in the thick of things.
He's just got Ethan Klein there giving him a welcome to State Cup, and there's Tom Pritchard getting up near halfway, and they earn the penalty, and it's going to be a little too late. And I think Brendan had a bit of an itch.
Bankstown done now,
scratch on
Nathan?
the ear. Yeah, I think they got the bye in the next game, but I think they needed to win this, and then Penrith versus Beresfield is in the next at 12:05. Penrith here are just not caring, are they? They're just getting a bit physical, and they want to be careful that they don't turn this into something a bit more, but they're just going to stand off. There's 52 seconds. I don't think they're any danger. Stone will pick it up. I was going to say he's none from two with the forward pass calls, and was going
hasn't
for a
worked
third.
out. Yeah. Are the referees not mic'd up anymore? They used to be mic'd up. How long ago was that? Am I showing my age?
No, just on certain games we are
This weekend as well?
Later in, probably tomorrow, we should be.
That's all right. Do you reckon it would save us some time if you just got mic'd up with me and then I could just talk to you during the game instead of... Would that work, Dave?
That might work if the decisions are right. We're happy to listen if the decisions are what we would go with.
Well, just on that one here, as the clock counts down, Jason, I think you could have helped on that one because there was... I think Daniel was right near that one. I think if a couple of these were forward, then the question mark remains over a couple of those.
Yeah, there was a few close ones, mate.
They're not playing the whistle, and that's part of what happens, and that's how it is. And Dave, just want to say a big thanks. I know you've got a busy schedule, but thank you for taking the time to join us today.
No, that's okay. Thank you, Nathan.
And Jace, until we meet again a bit later this afternoon, good luck in your games. I know the young fella running around in the men's 40s, so good luck.
Yeah, mate, there's been a lot of referee talk in the last hour, but it's good to get some insights, and I'll duck down the referee tent and get mic'd up for my next game.
Thanks, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Penrith a little bit too good for Bankstown in that one, and we'll take a short break and join you shortly.